Hi, welcome back to another episode of Breaking It Down. My name's Scott McLean. I'll be your host. How would you like to have more income in retirement? Sound too good to be true? Well, not according to our very special guest with us today here, Jason Bergquist, who's a senior Bright advisor with over 19 years of financial services industry experience, coming to us from Salt Lake City, Utah. Jason, are you on the call with us?
I am. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being here. So I understand that you can help people have more income in their retirement. So how's that possible?
Oh, there's a lot of different ways out there, but I really think that creating a plan, right, and understanding, maybe changing your mindset, because we're looking at how to have more money to spend in retirement, and that's a different mindset shift than most people have been thinking about while they've been working.
Yeah, that's for sure. And I think you're hitting on a key concept right there, mindset. You know, whatever we focus on, we tend to create in our life. And if we focus on our finances, if we water our mind with ideas and philosophies, successful strategies, successful ideas, things that have worked for other people, then that's what we will create in our own future. And so if you're not thinking about your retirement, it's certainly not going to happen on its own. So I understand you have 3 ideas for us to consider when it comes to planning out our retirement. You want to take us through them?
Yeah, so idea number 1 is simply it's not about the assets that you've accumulated, but rather how you're going to turn those assets into income. So first idea is, right, we look at today's volatile environment here in America, and people are worried about running out of money in retirement. And it's because the way that they've been taught to save and spend is all wrong. So back to what you were just originally saying, that mindset. If we are focusing on, I just need to get to this number. Well, what is that number? And then I ask all of my clients, they never know what that number is because there's a lot of numbers to consider. So what I help them focus on is whatever that number is that they have built up over time. It's more about looking at what do they need coming in per month when they retire. Are they looking to replace their entire income? Or they think they're going to live off of less. So it's that mind shift of going to what am I going to turn these assets into on an income level in retirement.
Yeah, Jason, that's a real important distinction, actually a powerful distinction. You know, if you ask me, I've done a lot of videos on finance, and a lot of my effort and energy has been placed on how much is your nest egg? How big of a nest egg can we create? Let's create this goose that will lay the golden eggs of income, but it's really about the accumulation. What do we need to do to accumulate that $1.2 million retirement, or that $2.4 million retirement, or that $10 million retirement, depending on whatever that goal is. And people have a hard time saving up $5,000 for a vacation, let alone millions of dollars for their retirement. And if you don't, I think it's easier, to your point, to focus on, hey, let's figure out what we need to do to get you the right amount of income, rather than this massive mountain that we have to climb. So great distinction, and thanks for sharing that. So how does that relate to number 2, and what is your point number 2, or your idea to consider?
So idea number 2, and something to remember and to educate yourself on, is that traditional retirement income model is broken. And what do I mean by that? Well, I used to be that agent. I've been in this industry for over 20 years now, and I used to be that agent that did just what you said, Scott, help you think about growing those assets. How do we get there? What do we get to? But when we mind shift change to income in retirement, we start to think about, where is it going to come from? Well, it used to be that we had a pension that was coming in, and we could just add Social Security to that and probably live off of our pension or Social Security. And then savings was just extra. Well, now that has really flipped completely upside down on its head, and most pensions have gone away. Social Security is kind of in limbo. If you're getting it, great. If we get it once we get there, awesome, right? Icing on the cake. So idea number 2 is you need to figure out what you're saving and how in order to create an additional protected income stream, meaning guaranteed income for life.
I love that idea. Guaranteed income for life seems, like that would bring a lot of comfort and peace and, security to my lifestyle, knowing that that's going to be there. Even if it doesn't cover all my expenses, knowing that most of the expenses are covered, that creates a sense of security, a sense of peace. And so you work with your clients and you help define a guaranteed income amount, figure out whatever they have going on and what type of income they could create in their future. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly, right? Because it's not about how much you save, it's about how much you get to spend. And everybody likes that conversation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'd love to spend more money. It's funny when you think about that. When we do budgeting classes, especially with like the college students or the younger guys, I ask them, how many of you love to budget? Like one or two hands goes up. How many of you love to spend money? All the hands go up. Well, spending money on a plan is actually a budget, and we kind of trick them into it. So it's kind of funny. So so you're helping your clients create that budget or that spending plan in their retirement years, figuring out how much money that they working with what they have right now, what they actually can afford or what they can have in their retirement. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, definitely. And you can start this at any time, right? Helping even those younger individuals and families think about how is this going to turn into income in my future, right? Even Time Magazine said securing at least a base level of lifetime income should be every retiree's priority, at least if you want to live happily ever after. And I tell people I do retirement planning, right? But that retirement planning starts at any age. It doesn't mean I'm talking to you because you're ready to retire. We need to create that plan for retirement.
Yeah, it's the greatest destination in your life, and people will plan out their vacation. They'll spend hours and days planning out what hotel they're going to go to and where they're going to do and all the things they're going to do, the restaurants they're going to eat, the fun things they're going to do. But when it comes to planning out that destination called retirement, that day when you finally wake up one morning, stretch your arms and you're like, I'm there, I'm here. Did you plan for that or did it just happen? And if it happened, I'm telling you, you're not going to like it. It typically takes a plan. So.
Even a step further, right, Scott, is maybe you have or think you've been planning, right? I've been putting money in my 401k, right? I opened an IRA. Maybe you've done some real estate, but have you thought about when you retire, what that's going to look like? So what I tell my clients is the only way for a successful retirement is by going through an income plan. But that income plan takes a couple more steps. And this is going into idea number 3, right? So the income plan needs to protect your money from 4 key risks. And we discussed that in the last interview that we did when we went over the retirement income framework.
Yeah, that was a great video and a great interview. And I encourage anyone to watch it on our YouTube channel. We have that video, the retirement income framework, and it was a great one. A lot of good ideas in there, Jason, and thanks for sharing that. So moving on to point number 3, we've got our mindset adjusted. We're focusing on income rather than the nest egg. I mean, we're focusing on the nest egg, but also the income. And, and we're creating that plan, figuring out how much we actually need to spend in our retirement years. What's number 3, or what's this third idea that we need to be considering?
So the third idea really is this, right? Is actually sitting down and creating that plan, figuring out what your expenses are going to be, because there are really only 3 sources of protected income, meaning 3 sources of guaranteed lifetime income, no matter how long you or your spouse live. That first one is a pension. But if we have to wipe that away because the pension doesn't apply to you, we've got to figure out to add more savings and those types of savings that are going to create that guaranteed income. Second source is Social Security. Now, hopefully we're going to get Social Security, right? Those who are older or retiring now, maybe they're already taking Social Security. But if you're in your 30s or 40s, are you planning on Social Security? Well, what I tell my younger clients is don't plan on it, right? That would be icing on the cake. So that means if we had 3 sources of income, we had a pension and Social Security. If you don't have a pension, that's gone. If you don't think you're going to have Social Security, that's gone. So the last thing left to do is to figure out how to utilize cash value life insurance now and fixed indexed annuities in the future in order to get guaranteed payouts for as long as you live.
Wow, Jason, it occurs to me that you have a lot of experience and understanding of how the retirement game plan works, what you need to be doing to plan for your retirement and to make sure you have enough income in retirement. I'm guessing that your clients sleep well at night and are happy working with you. I appreciate you, coming on the show. Anything that you want to say to anyone who's watching, considering, worried about their financial plan or their retirement? There's a lot of confusion out there. Any final words you'd want to share with anyone?
I really do have just two quick things. One, right, is how do you work on planning for the retirement of your dreams? And like you said earlier, Scott, if you take more time to plan your vacations rather than your retirement, what are you focused on? Right? And then number two, you're right. My clients are happy. I don't get calls when the markets go down. I don't get concerned that they're not going to have the money coming in each month, because what we have done is created a plan where they have guaranteed money coming in every single month that covers their expenses. Now, might we do a couple more things on the side to grow some money, right? Invest some additional assets, things above and beyond that baseline of income coming in? Sure. But that peace of mind is there because they never worry about not having enough money to pay their bills for as long as they live.
Jason, I'm sure your clients are confident and they're sleeping well at night. I know that this was great information, and I appreciate you being on here. I absolutely feel like you have it figured out and would work with people and put the client in a good state of mind and help them feel confident about their financial future. I encourage everyone to watch your other video, the Retirement Income Framework. Again, my name is Scott McLean. This was another episode of Breaking It Down. Jason, thanks for being on the show. Remember, it's not what you make, it's what you do with what you make.